Force, the Jedi. All of it. It's all true.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Star Wars Fiction, where we discuss everything Star Wars, including fan fictions. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. So, without further ado, here is part 6 on our ongoing story on what if Darth Vader survived Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do it real quick by hitting that red button and the bell notification icon to support the channel and to know as soon as our new content is released. Also, if you haven't seen parts 1 through 5, hit the card above you for a playlist of all the parts, and then come back to this one. And now, without further delay, let's make the jump back into our fanfiction story. Our story picks up in the Vardo system with the ISD Eviscicator supervising the beginning stages of what we know as Operation Cinder. We find Admiral Versio speaking with none other than Grand Admiral Sloane. He has a serious look on his face, one his fellow officers could not decipher between confidence or concern. Either way, the Emperor's contingency plan was about to commence. I trust you are prepared for the task that lies ahead of you, Grand Admiral Sloane asked her subordinate admiral. All he could do was let out a gruff exhale. The Corvus should be here momentarily, and I'm having Inferno Squad personally supervise Operation Cinder. Sloane seems to let off a satisfying smile. Myself and the fleet are positioned behind the 7th moon when Vader arrives. I am counting on it, Grand Admiral, and will serve as bait to draw him in to be crushed. With Vader out of the picture, we can focus on taking the next step and ensuing the Empire survives, with any traitors or weak-willed eliminated. All of a sudden, the Corvus comes out of hyperspace, racing towards the Admiral's ship. Taking notice, Sloane continues, I will inform His Supremacy that it has begun, she says with her hologram fading. We are now on board the ship of Inferno Squadron. Luke, Leia, and Han all stand on board the bridge with a contained Agent Hask, who are all out of sight as Agent Delmico makes contact with Admiral Versio. The three heroes have devised a plan to stall the Admiral long enough for Anakin and the Dauntless to arrive as backup. Why are you contacting me instead of Commander Versio? The Admiral asked impatiently, looking at Delmico. Our commander and Agent Hask were ambushed by the rebels assisting Mothwraith. The Dauntless was destroyed, and we barely made it out alive. Admiral Versio seemed suspicious of the claim, but continued to entertain the agent. Then why wasn't I informed sooner? He asked with a severe tone of anger in his voice. Our long-range communications were disabled in battle, Delmico stated, who had disabled them prior to coming out of hyperspace, in case a scan was done on the Corvus to buy them some more time. I see, Admiral Versio says gruffly. Position yourself next to my ship. I will have my medical team retrieve the commander. Although this was the most likely outcome, besides being fired upon, the agent continued to keep his cool. At once, Admiral, he stated, cutting off the transmission. Let us hope your Star Destroyer isn't far behind, Delmico says, turning to see Luke with his eyes closed. What's wrong, kid? Han asks as Luke opens his eyes with a look of concern on his face. This is a trap. The Admiral has some sort of reinforcements. He is anticipating something not going as planned. Leia, not seeming to be surprised, turns to look at Delmico. We have to warn the Dauntless. Just as she finished speaking, the Dauntless then appeared out of hyperspace, with the Corvus now in between the two Imperial Star Destroyers. Now on board the Dauntless, Anakin decided to hail the Eviscicator. Admiral Versio appeared, not surprised to see Darth Vader in command. I see you have already begun your takeover. Is it true you murdered our Emperor in cold blood?
I am not here to discuss Palpatine, but instead the fate of your daughter,
Anakin says in a darker tone. What about her? She is just a commander. that can be replaced. Although the Admiral had a perfect poker face, the Jedi was able to sense his concern through the Force.
Commander Versio is in my custody and will remain so, unless you reveal what you know about Operation Cinder. Your daughter, in the Moff's knowledge, was more limited than expected.
Like hell I'm gonna tell you anything, Vader. Just because you capture my daughter and have convinced part of Inferno Squad to betray me, I will still be the one to destroy you, once and for all, Admiral Versio shouted. Anakin then reached out through the Force, grasping Versio's neck with an invisible hand. Shock filled his eyes as his hands grasped his throat.
I do not ask for something twice, Admiral,
he said, tightening his grip.
Vardos is...
Anakin then released his hold on the Admiral, hating for having to resort to the ways of Vader for this situation. Vardos is going to be destroyed by a series of weather-emitting satellites, Versio reveals, still grasping his throat. The Emperor's contingency plan is known as Operation Cinder. But before anything else can be said, 4 Star Destroyers begin to appear from the other side of the moon. Your sorcerer's ways may work on the weak, but I assure you, they will not help you win today, Admiral Sloane said, joining in on the conversation. Anakin was now also getting a transmission from Luke.
I will only offer my mercy once, Grand Admiral, since you have served me before. Join me, or be destroyed with the rest of the Empire.
She then lets out a laugh. 1 Star Destroyer against 5 is suicide, Vader. Even for you, the Emperor's enforcer.
You underestimate the power of the Force, which is insignificant to anything else. Join me and live, or serve a dead Emperor and die with him.
Never, she states, cutting the communication with the Dauntless. Anakin then reaches out through the Force to Luke. We are ready, he assures his father.
Scramble 2 squadrons of TIE fighters and open fire on the Inviscator,
Anakin orders before quickly leaving the bridge. We now find ourselves in the Moff's quarters, with Iden Versio sitting still, attempting to come up with a plan to escape. As she is surveying the area for anything to use, a voice appears inside her head. But it sounded younger. She immediately knew this was Vader, or, well, Anakin, but she hasn't decided who she should call him yet. And it sounded younger, and lacked a strong mechanical tone. As my son saved me, you now have a chance to save your father. Meet me in the hangar before it's too late, Commander Versio. Without any hesitation, Iden jumps to her feet, finding the door unlocked, and races to meet the man behind the mask, known as Anakin Skywalker. Alright, my friends, that is a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up to show your support and that red subscribe button to let us know that you are enjoying this content. Also, make sure to comment below on how you would like for part 7 to go. As usual, your ideas just might make it into the story. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out our other videos on if Yoda could have prevented Order 66. Thank you again for watching and supporting our channel. And until next time, may the Force be with you, wherever you may be in the galaxy, far, far away.